God has his eye on us, even before our mothers and fathers brought us into existence. And in a very special way, I know that I've had a sense that God was leading my life early on in my life, as I'm sure he has led each one of us, because that's his promise. Ellen White tells us that God is able to focus on us as if we're the only person on the planet. Just as Jesus is God's only son, we are, by extension, his only sons and daughters. He's only concerned with us and us alone. And he says, I will guide you with my eye. You know, I grew up one of 5 children. I was in the middle. And usually they call the middle the forgotten child. I'm not the oldest. I'm not the youngest. I was a quiet child, actually. I didn't speak much. Because of the trouble we had at home, I stuttered. And so that kind of precluded me from opening my mouth very much. And I was a quiet child, quiet in class. My teachers, the nuns who taught me knew something was going on inside of little Jimmy Park's mind. In fact, they gave me a nickname. They called me the dumb ox. Now, you have to be a Catholic to understand that that actually was a very honorable name, because that was the name of the nickname of the greatest medieval theologian was Thomas Aquinas, and they called him the dumb ox. So they could see little Jimmy Park, something was going on in his brain, and they didn't quite know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. I just kind of lived with my own thoughts. And then I always remember a major turning point in my life. It was the junior high school dance. And it was the biggest event of the year for the juniors. And I was a junior. And we were to have a meeting about how we were going to decorate for the dance. And I don't know what got into me, but I got up and I said, this is how we should decorate for the dance. And to my astonishment, everyone said, okay, that's what we're going to do. I was just overcome that anyone would ever listen to anything what I had to say. And then my astonishment was rapidly replaced with horror. Now I had to bring about what we were going to do. But that was really the first time I was able to get up, and God saw that I had leadership qualities, that people would indeed listen to what I had to say. And so God was kind of early grooming me to be a leader. Now, I bring this up because in today's context of today's Sabbath, we're doing 3 things at this church or I have never done before, okay? So it's a triple header, 3 strikes and you're out. And first of all, I want to say that I really appreciate how the church has planned with me and has participated in bringing the 3 things about. The first thing we're going to have is a special communion service. We're going to do it the New Testament way. We're going to sit down at a table. And I really want to appreciate Elias for coming over here at least 2 or 3 times this last week. For Raina, I know, and Letitia for buying the red tablecloths. People brought some electric candles. Susan and Maria, our head deaconesses, also dealing with the setup and everything. See, So much stuff is going on in this church behind the scenes that I don't even know, Elias. But people are so self-starting here. Thank you so much. Thank you for Jean for bringing the beautiful candles that will be in the front. People preparing for the event for our communion service. And that'll be right after my short sermon here. Then this afternoon at 4 o'clock, the Temple City Church, where I used to pastor, they've opened up their church to our small church, and we're going to have a baptism of Cole. I have never baptized a special needs child before, but I think, folks, it is going to be something very special. Cole is going to go swimming with the Lord. And what a wonderful event to have a baptism. And thank you so much for the Temple City Church that is preparing for us to come and host our event. When I asked them for any cost involved, they said, no, we won't think about it. You're our sister church. Please come. They have a beautiful church. And so we're very thankful we can go down there. I have a little handout where the church is, etc. And then after that, we're going to have a meal together. And for me, it will be a meal of relief because now the day is over and my responsibilities ended. Thank you so much for Jean and Nancy, the rest of the people that have made that possible with the restaurant. So I'm very thankful. I'm really looking forward to today. I know it's a new day for all of us. And as I say to people, and I say to myself continually after doing these sorts of things for over 50 years, the first time you do something, there's lots of mistakes. The second time you do something, well, you do a little better. The third time, okay, now you know how to do it. So this first time, we have to give ourselves a lot of grace because we're just doing it for the first time, all three things, and we're all going to learn together. And the next time we do it next quarter, hopefully we'll have another baptism, amen, and we'll have another communion service, we'll have another restaurant, and we will know more how to do it. And by the end of the year, Elias, we'll be flying, and it'll be a special Sabbath. We'll have our communion service, a baptism, and a meal together to cap it off at the end. So right now, we're going to have our foot washing service. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to not have it in here, obviously. We're going to have an exodus because actually we get our word exit from the word exodus. Okay, so we're going to have an exodus here. And we're going to go out the doors of the main sanctuary here. We're going to turn right and go to the next building here. And as you go through those doors, it's also air conditioned. Thank you very much. And on the right-hand side, for those who want to participate in the foot washing service, that will be on the right. The women will be in the library and the men will be out in the hallway. If you don't choose to participate in the foot washing service, instead of turning right, you can turn left and go into the room, the little chapel where we're going to hold the communion service. Now, we as a lay people, we plan together to make it in the form of a cross. The two elders and myself will be up in front, seated at the top of the table, and then the lay people, the other members can sit down anywhere you choose at the table there. And it'll be a few minutes, and then after the foot washing service, we will come in and start the communion service. There's a little, a very nice brochure in front of you that will be the program for the communion service, and you're more than welcome to take that home as a memento of the service, as well as the communion cup. You can take that home as well. So we're going to spend the rest of the morning slow walking through a foot washing service, then a communion service gathered around the table. We're going to gather as a church family, very informal. I'm going to speak to my heart, a couple things, issue facing the church. And we're going to sing together. We're going to pray together. We're going to celebrate the communion together. And then we're going to take a break and come back for the baptism at 4 o'clock at Temple City Church on Broadway Avenue. And then we're going to go to the Hao means good eating in Mandarin. We're going to go eat at a restaurant and enjoy one another. So that's our day together. This is the first time I've ever experienced a day like this in my church life, and I know that we will all be blessed. So let us go over to the next building here, the fellowship, the downstairs of the next building. Begin our foot washing service. If you don't want to participate in that, you can head to the left and go into the chapel area. God bless us all.